All right, here we back for a Thursday, everybody. How's it going? Let's get right to it. Obviously, the subject and what we're going to really get into today is this Ethereum. Amazing, absolutely, really worked out on par. And I'll play a brief clip in a second. But this is what can happen when you put yourself in the right position. You line up confirmation, and it's an explosive type 1 reaction. It's probably the best well-chosen example you can have when it blasts absolutely through your profit targets, does so with tremendous conviction and continuation. So now what? This is actually one of those type 1s that most people cite. It's not really the ideal type 1 framework because we want to see a 1-2, but when you're there at the reaction with confirmation and it explodes like that in obvious fashion, you go with it. You stick with it. And that's what happened. So let's get into quickly just reviewing and then anticipate where this larger scenario can go to. It's definitely significant, and we bust out to all-time new highs for this move, not all-time new highs, but for this bull market run. Now you've doubled. This reaction's pretty strong. Still fits within what we have been talking about all along, but now we want to target where it's going. That's really the key. I mean, we've been kind of following it as it progresses, but now with not only things like this happening, we've seen a few of these back-to-back pattern situations. We talked about, even on Tuesday, what the deal was with this Gartley. It had, as we say, lost its mojo, certainly well beyond the 30 bar limit for what you want to see in terms of a bearish opportunity. And then to the right of that, you form a significant pattern that did everything we said it would do. Can't emphasize enough that we cannot do this without the Harmonic pattern collection software. And so, people, the quick business of the day, go to become a basic member. Just go to harmonictrader.com and sign up there if you're new to the website. Register now. And then again, everybody, the TradingView platform, since it has all of the crypto feeds, I think is more than sufficient, but everyone needs to be with it. Try it. 14 days. If you have not tried it, again, take the 2-week trial. Follow along with what we do. You'll learn about the indicators, the other triggers that we have that are quite clear. And so send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Get a 14-day free trial. That's really the purpose here. Show everybody the power of harmonic patterns. Get the software and tools into your hands and then go for it. Then follow along with what we do until you're comfortable. But the framework, the expectations, the strategies are applied universally. It's just that, hey, it's all about positioning. We're looking from here to there. As I said, basically 1670 last week to 1740. Then tell me what it does when it gets there. Just an annihilation. Nothing that even suggested it would even stall until that first HSI signal. But even that was blown out. It's big stuff. And really quick, let me give away a book. To Thursday, we're here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Thursday, we give away some books. So volume 3. Okay, absolutely. Let's give one away. First one to type in V3, please. We'll give you a book. It's that simple. And then you have to contact Miss Stephanie on the Discord with your address, and we'll send you a book. So first person to put in V3. Got to put in V3, guys. Let's see it. There you go, Market Observer. I guess one's going over there, overseas. We'll give away 2 more books. Got to keep you on your toes, but Thursdays we give away the books. Next one. Let's get to that quick review. Because here's the clip, okay? And here's, let's just follow along with what we said last session. Here we go. Listen to this. Here we go. Here we go. You could register it here, then come back, retest 71, and then go into type 1 reaction. And that type 1, 1740. So if you're trading at home, that's a nice move. Okay, so that was the clip from last session. Okay, that's a typical type 1 reaction. But we put ourselves there in the right spot for another continuation. And again, that's what's happening here. So the next point is, okay, how strong? How high? Where can this go? Because our 1 hour time frames are busting higher. We failed a big 4 hour. Notice we had this 4 hour continuation. And so we're trying to form this blue line, means there's a crab pattern. Software is generating. But another pause maybe with HSI that just registered with that close. So if we give back a little bit here, no biggie. But the larger time frame and everything we've talked about on Ethereum then points us to higher levels based off of the all-time high to low. Okay, essentially, let's dial it back. Let's go to the weekly, because I think, again, the weekly on crypto has been, your favored, not only time frame, but your best patterns, your best levels. It's just going to take a lot longer for these developments, but we didn't really get anything, we didn't get a big pattern on Ethereum like we've seen in a number of other coins. But if we measure it out, and again, Ethereum, Bitcoin, the two obvious ones that we always want to be on top of, maybe Binance Coin is a close third, we really need to peg what this structure is. And one of the things I mentioned back towards the end of June that maybe somewhere in June, that I thought perhaps this could be an A to B and then C to D simple pattern that was around 900. You take the manual tool on TradingView, it looks like this. There's A to B leg, followed back up, and then CD down. All of that's around 920, I think. We were looking for the all-time 886. We're saying, hey, this is a bat pattern. And we're still in reactive territory. So again, people are asking me, is this going to come back down to 1,000 ever and retest? We're not even there to consider the type 2 return yet. Some of the things that are happening quite clearly that we called in advance was this serial continuation. The bar over bar, week over week, higher series of higher highs, most important, higher lows. With all of this taking shape, you're like 3/4 of the way to your first objective. And what is that first objective? Obvious, 382 all time. If that's what this is, and I'm saying that's what this is. 382 all time gets you to, again, about 2,400, folks. Do we come all the way back down to 1,000? Let's see. Always possible. Always possible. And then something like that, 886 to 88. No, I'm not going to jump and hey, say that's going to happen 4 moves ahead of time. I'll take it in chunks. But look at this. We're still under the constraints of the downtrend. The other thing that is fitting quite well within how we shaped this out from the beginning was the simple 1-2 reactive framework. And that has been, where did that go? 1 second. Let me bring that up, because I posted an update on Twitter yesterday about that. And I think it's important to note that we're still in a reaction that should be aggressive, kind of a quick thrust move. It's pretty decisive, no doubt. But what we're seeing here does not get us away from, still saying, hey, this is reaction territory. And this is from July 13, already a month ago. Amazing. That we were looking for that check back. There you go. Up to the downtrend and with the possible retest later in the year. Now we're how many weeks along here in Ethereum? 7 almost. Before, after, folks. Before, after. Because we had that check back down there at 980. That was, 1040. That was the critical thing that said, okay, this could react off of this oversold situation. What I want to see, folks, is the next HSI signal on the weekly. We're a ways from that. I mean, you're up there expanding, but you haven't come out of the zone. And coordinate that with a potential retest of the downtrend and 382 level at a minimum. At a minimum. Here it is. Here's HSI. Remember? This thing hit the zone 2 weeks ago and is expanding with historic precedent. I mean, actually with little historic precedent. There's one other time we've been this high out of that HSI. If this is really going to be something in Ethereum, you want to see an explosive harmonic strength index reading above 122. Currently, you're 111, 112. This is still up until it rolls over. How high it goes up is what we're going to see. If we do a straight on move up to 2400, which is essentially the live target now for a type 1, the completion of the type 1 reaction occurs at 2400. Think of it that way. Okay, you're at 1885. You've made a lot of progress. When we were here on Tuesday, this was a bearish candle for the week. But again, look at that session from Tuesday and then compare it for now. Ethereum specifically. I think it was like in the second half of the session. A lot going on here, folks. I mean, it's ideal harmonic framework conditions that, can't ignore it or ignore at your own peril, because if we're going to shoot this gap, and so let's assume now you're 1900 or under 1900, generally between 1900, with 2400 in its sights within, say, the next few bars, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. I think probably not even. That would be something to strategize for. How do we strategize? Well, let's wait for a pullback on intraday like we saw so many times just in the past few weeks. Hourly, maybe we get some kind of formation next week for another continuation, but right now that explosion, you just got to let that unfold. Here's 5-minute time frame. Again, Ethereum becomes more tradable every day, it seems. Ethereum is giving a lot of great 5-minute structures, and most of them are just reactions where if we're in a bullish continuation, which we are, then every bearish pattern should give you on a 5-minute should give you, type a target 2 pullback. Go to target 2 and then retest or go higher. Here's another one. We're here now, and this is probably another great situation for the current opportunities, is that we're doing these pullbacks off a target down to target 2s, which is nice because that's usually the maximum limit we want to see anyway, and then strategize for the return. So if you're bumping 40, 50, 80 points a couple times a day, those are some nice opportunities. Again, trading wise, this kind of price action is not, unless you're trading options at that an option market that trades 24/7, that's kind of what you're looking at. And I think this has got a little more stability. Harmonically, it is a gem. Absolutely. So if you learn anything from this and the last couple of sessions, that, you know, wake up to what we're doing here and bring it into your life. Do that with the automated levels. Stop trying to figure out. I mean, I want everybody to learn how to do stuff manually, but I've got that figured out. I mean, go here, go to the books if you want, and actually learn the pattern metrics. We talked about volume 1 last time. Go 1, 2, or 3. There's a reason why I'm giving this all away for free, because it's like, it's a no-brainer. And once you kind of spread that word, share that knowledge, and people get it and they start realizing success off of it, it's, you're a whole different level. That's what I want this whole methodology to be about. Special strategies that respect natural metrics, natural cycles, and people that are akin to it, and they know what's going on. So that's really, you come here, you watch the sessions, you look at the resources. It's kind of a wake-up call to what's going on in the markets. Obviously, for me, it's just been a process of trial, error, elimination throughout everything I've learned over 30 years or more, blended with other, vast market experiences on exchange floors, managing money, what have you. But for me, this is it. And what we did with Ethereum in the last 48 hours is, culminates into the best of what can happen. And still, we want to still look at, always respect type 1, type 2 framework, no matter what. But, the harmonic patterns are showing it. Ethereum is a special vehicle, in my opinion. I think we want to look for that kind of things, and still understand we're just reaction phase after that long extended down move. For Ethereum, you go back early in the year, we were quite concerned after the breakdown under like 3,700. We were targeting. Look, let's have one final word about the long term, super long term for Ethereum. Okay, this was our assessment from the beginning of saying, okay, when this thing was basically falling apart in April, May, June, what do we have here? Is it a BAT? Is it a Gartley? We do have an ABCD off the top, but all time we know that crypto likes to do these 886 full reset, full harmonic resets of their cycles before they go again. We've seen that in past examples. Actually, the reason why this isn't showing the patterns from a few years ago, because I turned down the number of bars. Let me show you the prior patterns. We haven't looked at those. But that's the thing about crypto. Okay, it is, an aggressive market. It's when it goes, pretty hardcore. When you get into those bullish cycles, we've had a few. Is this the start of a new one or another one? No, I mean, we're in a major reaction phase, and that's, again, we'll take this in chunks and work our way up. Let me see. I'm trying to get those weekly charts. There's a number of those long-term patterns. I'll bring them up on Monday. I don't know what from way back when. We'll go review them on Monday. Because again, the history is not necessarily repeating, it's rhyming, but we just want to understand, okay, how far is this going to go for now? What are the possibilities? Clearly still up. Does that mean you just jump in and buy? No. I mean, how many times have we seen $100, $200 pullbacks within this trend? Many. And we know our minimums. The minimums are clear. We were thinking reaction all along. Even if you didn't do harmonics, you're not surprised to see simple downtrend behavior following trend lines. Anybody that does TA, okay, knows that that's just standard stuff. But when you apply metrics, you apply harmonic ratio levels, then you have a much clearer picture. And so 2400 is what we want to target now for Ethereum on this move. I think it's, it gives us everything that we want to see and fits within the framework. Then we'll see when we get up there what registers. The other note with Ethereum, which I think is interesting, maybe a little scary, but we're just clicking above the 50 level on your weekly. That's remarkable. I mean, that tells us when we then make this secondary move to go from 50 to 70, which is overbought, we should see some price expansion. Again, it should generally maintain the serial bar over bar, week over week, higher highs, higher low pattern up until we get there. That's a lot. Absolutely a lot, but that's, what we want to continue to focus on. Bitcoin has not followed as aggressively. We mentioned that on Tuesday. Does that mean it will not? No, I think Bitcoin probably has more room on the upside to give us, but if Ethereum is showing us what could be possible, what's a 382 on Bitcoin? Bitcoin 382 minimum reactive harmonic level is, 30, yikes, 37 what, 50? 37 600? Is that possible? That's a metric. That's a minimum objective. I'm thinking, as this does move higher, that does seem to be coming a possibility. What is a 236? I mean, a minimum 236, 23.6% is a 30K. So maybe Bitcoin does have something on the upside. And even, again, just draw your trend line down. If we all agree that crypto reaction is almost in full swing, to come back and kiss that downtrend would not be a surprise. Maybe come up a little bit like that through the level, continue to lag, and then set yourself up maybe later in the year 2023. That's I think that's a reasonable outlook. I'm not wouldn't be surprised to see 30K and that be a quick target for now, and then other things take shape. I think it's there's other examples that we're looking at currently, and you have to just rely on the metrics and the price action analysis, because the narrative is confusing as all hell. What are you going to do in this environment? It's supposed to be this, supposed to be that, even for standard markets. A lot to consider there, folks. And I think we've gone through a number of altcoins, S coins this week. Let's just look at a couple more big boys like Binance Coin. All right, same deal. This didn't really have any pattern, but you're now trying to challenge the downtrend. You're trying to break out of the bear market downtrend. I mean, let me get super tight there and really draw the appropriate trend line. It should be more like that. You have to encompass these peaks and get all that downtrend price action listed in there, where you have some kind of reckoning coming at about 350. Above 350, sizable. All-time 382 off the top for Binance Coin, roughly. 382 gets you to 375, 370, something like that. Final one that, is a real wannabe is Cardano. What is this going to do? This one is nowhere close to a 382, but it is showing some interesting things to the right of this downtrend, which is probably, you're much closer to an execution. Your last weekly signal on Cardano was like 47 cents. That each bar, each week, that you stabilize and start to make progress off of that reinforces what that signal is. So what's 382 all time on Cardano, high to low? You're going to be surprised. $1.50, $1.45. You're trading 53 cents right now. It's possible. It's something long term. Also, remember this bear market. I mean, it's devastating bear market. From high to low was essentially 36 weeks. So where are you now? If that's the low, going to the right, 36 weeks, you're 12 weeks in. So you've only really made progress 1/3 of the way in terms of time. 1-to-1 time, 36 weeks gets you into gets you into January or November. And that is it's a standard technical analysis model of the way to project, a time window, if you will. Just go 1-to-1. 36 weeks gets you to January 16. So that larger development, that could happen where you hit a 382 minimum within that next 1-to-1 window, or even a 30-week, as we love to see 30 weeks. Isn't that interesting? The 30-week window from the trigger is pretty much the same, mid-January. Be aware of that. I mean, it's a lot of these have yet to move. Doesn't mean they won't. And it's good to see that we're getting, that follow through. Someone mentioned Ethereum Classic. And yes, before I leave, Ethereum Classic is another one to watch because we knew this is a type 2. It's ugly, but it's a type 2 deep crab, and it's target 2. So here's the first reaction on Ethereum Classic. It comes all the way back down under your hop level. Is your first trigger is around 13. It was sloppy, but target 2 comes in at 51.25. You're trading 43. Those are some big ones I would want to follow. We'll get into some more T coins on Monday. I want to circle back with something I started with yesterday, which is Dow Diamonds and what's going on, especially after yesterday and the SPY, of what we're looking for up here. Because where we were hitting some critical targets, we blew through them. Actually, I want to go to SPY. S&P 500 ETF. It's like this. It was like that. Hold on. Let's go bring that up. There you go. Here's the SPY, and we had a bat pattern we talked about that hadn't registered any confirmation and did not break down. I said it was 2 days away from a breakdown. It looks like this. Now, with that continuation, you're targeting the hop level at 425, and you still have to violate this trend line. So the fact that you vacillated, this is the bat pattern. Actually, I'm going to remove this. I want to remove the pending pattern. That's all that blue line means. It means it's a pattern in development, maybe something a little bit larger. But I like to focus mostly on it's a pending pattern. There you go. Take that off. We're really talking about this bat pattern that formed off the low for the S&P 500 at 410, basically 4,100 on the index. Now 422. Look at what happens. We do a pause here, and we talked about this on Tuesday. 5 bars sideways, and looking for the breakdown to get down into a reaction. I said only reaction because there was no confirmation. Look, where's HSI? This is our primary harmonic pattern indicator, harmonic strength index. Nowhere near overbought. And if anything, it's coming off the 50, looks to maybe make another run at the overbought level. And probably more telling is the expansion of RSI. All of that says we're going to test 425 before we think this stops, or maybe even higher. And it's surprising. It's surprising. Something's baked up. Could it be like what happened back in April? Sure. So ears are up, no doubt. Look at the last three daily patterns. This hit the hop. Okay. This pattern went through, this crab pattern went through a 1, 2 before any larger move occurred. So for that pattern, I'll look for 425 or maybe wait. Let's see what happens getting up here. Maybe we have to do another 1, 2 before the trend continues. If this is a lot of people arguing that this is bear market rally and that we'll see new lows for the year. That usually sets up when there's a consensus one way, half the other, you're usually going to get the market to continue to grind. And much like crypto, you're trying to break out of that downtrend, but the major signals will not come until the right of there. So we're going to have to negotiate this. It's not over yet. 425 on the top side for S&P 500 ETF. 4250 on the index. Tell you what, though, it explodes through 4250. You're going to have to say something else is going on here. Something larger. And it's would be quite early. You would still be 15, 20% off the all-time highs. But here's something that catches my eye with the broader markets in general. Like if they're all going to just go completely fall over, is Apple. Okay, we have a crab pattern right now on Apple hitting this upper zone, but another one, no confirmation. So you're not jumping in on the short just yet. I want to see HSI come up, pop. Maybe HSI pops in a week, goes to the hop at 175, and then you could target something down. The other thing is that this amplified reading hasn't rolled over yet either. So whatever's going on right now is going to continue for at least a few more days into next week. The larger implications, well, I'll say this. Isn't it crazy that Apple is 5% off its all-time highs? I mean, that's loco. If we're in a bear market. Or is this, as they say, cyclical bear or secular bear? Cyclical means more temporary. After a fixed period of time, then you continue the larger secular larger bull market, That, I guess we could all say this accelerated stuff started at the COVID low, really like that. Important stuff of what happens, I'm saying now into the end of the month, because these monthly candles are, massively engulfing for Apple, and this is many a tech stock where you have monthly bullish engulfing with continuation, and even look, we have HSI on the monthly basis. That tells you that those markets they were oversold on a long-term basis. We continue to come back to the weekly time frame as the larger primary time frame, if you will. Which has greater significance, of course, will take more time. There will be bumps along the way, but if this continues, you go another month or two, let's say we close above all-time new highs by the end of the year. What does that mean? I'm saying for Apple specifically, because in a single stock that dominates S&P 500 and the Dow Diamonds, it'll influence the rest of them, even if the rest of them are laggards. The weight of that is, pretty significant. Let's look at, story stock of the day is Disney, of course, up 680. Here's another monthly situation that you want to pay attention to. This one, like crypto and a lot of bear markets, has work to do. But to come back up to the downside of that to the bottom side of that downtrend where you go to 136, 138, not surprising, and then take a look at some harmonics. Okay. We had a ugly crab pattern, but it's, this is reacting. Target 1 is at 128.77 on Disney. So again, pointing higher for now within that reaction phase, not surprised. By September, maybe into October, and then come back down where a type 2 back at 111 would be, if you're following that along on a daily or weekly, that's probably where you could anticipate, if it's going to happen, the larger trend reversal. Yeah, you have it generally on the weekly as well. It's ugly. I think, is that even a type 2? Did that hit at 157.44? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I didn't really see this until now. Check it out. Weekly had a bullish deep crab pattern off the top. First completion was down here at 134. Target 1 is 157.44. The high was 157.50, and then got rejected all the way back down below the hop. There's your first confirmation. This is weekly. That's at $100. So this is actually a type 2 on the weekly. If so, then target 2. That's our assumption. Type 1, type 2, minimum target 1, but we could say maximum target 2, 174.84. Maybe there's room to run. You have a bearish shark on Disney? Jordan saying that? I don't know. I'm not showing that. I'll have to come back and look at that. But I think that's interesting. I think there's a couple others of those big stocks. Take a look at JPM. Look at JP Morgan. Did a ugly, really ugly kind of crab pattern here, but seems to be coming off of this. It's a type 2, which again has greater significance. So if that's the case, you're still early in the move. Take a look. There's your type 1 that completed back in May. You go as high as target 2. HSI comes in right on the money. Now we're back down on the type 2, but not surprised it took longer. Hop level at 109.78 was tested, but that's the floor. I mean, that's really pretty obvious. Anyone could read that and say that's the floor, which then suggests somewhere maybe anything under 117 if JPM comes back. Yeah, it can work like that, where you can fetch an entry somewhere here to look to capture the larger move back to 132. That's just where these are. There's a quick question. If it closes below the hop and comes back, is it still valid? Yeah, but you need a little extra. I mean, you would want to see if something's threatening, and a lot of these things in June were threatening major breakdowns. And a lot of them did overrun their maximum ideal support. But with patterns, especially type 2 retests, we can have plenty of time for the entry. You usually do have more time versus when you're dealing with a reaction, something like that, it's like a 3 to 5 bar, 5 to 7, and it goes. But the type 2s, we've seen this on crypto, they can stretch out. But if they start doing obvious stabilization or they break the downtrend or something like that, think about it in segments. Then you can assume that this type 2 segment is taking shape. And so maybe you look for something in that vicinity. Again, 117 being your minimum. I think we could retest that, and that's still set up along. It's coming together. Here's an example of that really quick. Okay, here's an example. Carnival Cruise. I talked about this recently. This is one of our recent 3 ideas for gold members. Okay, down I was saying about $9, $10. Your confirmation came in like there. Hop level is 1058. You're still underneath there, but this is in a heck of a lot better shape than it was 2 weeks ago, and you're still valid. Let's shape it out like this. It's a type 1 reaction off of that move where 18 bucks and 1832 is the objective. Do the percentage yourself. You'll see that's a sizable move. Some should take shape, something like this in that regard. That bounce yesterday, we're starting to make progress off the zone. You want to see it close above 11 bucks and it's gone. Be aware of that. All right, let's give out another book, volume 3, folks. So let's, the first person to put up the exact target, the new target for Ethereum, price target, the new price target for Ethereum gets a volume 3. Let's do that. Are you guys still awake? You still with me? We'll go up another 15 more minutes. First person to put in the Ethereum price target that we're now assessing, going for. There you go. Art Chameleons, you win. You got to send Squirrely Crypto. That's funny. 2400. Art Chameleons, you win. I'll give away one more book in the next 10 minutes. The Carnival Cruise is definitely another one that's shaped up. And then again, here are these story stocks that seem to be blasting. Okay, here's another one, Rite Aid. I think someone mentioned this last week. And this is a hop level down around 777, but the weekly I think is even better. Yeah, look at this. Here's Rite Aid. All right, this thing has popped out of the zone, obviously. The XA level is at 8. XA, the larger deep crab way back here, which is a type 2, is 13 bucks. So if we're down here at 11 on Rite Aid, what's possible? Well, if we just take this target or this pattern here, target 1 comes in at 16.18. You're still $5 away from that. That's been there's one of several of these large patterns that have been shaping up like this, where you hit target 1. James, nope, I didn't bypass you. Sorry, Art Chameleons was number 1. But that is another story stock, and I would start looking at these, get them on your radar, okay, that are stabilizing, a lot of them doing. This is a type 2 on a weekly. This might be a 3 ideas. Let's see, I think I'm a little late on it. But that actually is a real nice long-term chart with lots of patterns after this whole washed out sequence. Here's another one. Best Buy. Okay. If you haven't seen this one before, well, I haven't, this is the first time I really showed this, but another deep crab coming out of the zone. This one's popping a little bit today. XA is all the way down to 68.66. But don't, even if you feel like you're late, no, I think what we need to consider is, does a reaction, and then we're talking over many months, come back for the reversal. Don't forget, on the monthly chart, we had talked about this a long time ago. Monthly was that crab pattern that was up at 120 or so on the other platform. A lot of patterns going on here. And a lot of them that topped out last year came off of major monthly patterns. So it seems like this long-term stuff is continues to really dictate what's going on. Here's another one. This is a short from a month ago, one of our 3 ideas. Okay, weekly crab pattern on Pfizer. Around 54 bucks. This is a type, let me see here, type 2. No, maybe it's still type 1, but 44 easy on Pfizer. A few of these have set up. and for good measure. Pfizer's like this to the downside, maybe as low as 37.61. That could be a good put play. Definitely a good one for puts. Look, you're here under the 50 level. We'll see if we can get an opportunity on like an hourly chart or something next week. But you're entered clearly in this downtrend that started at the end of last year, and we're now in acceleration mode. You're under the 50 there. You're breaking down on HSI. Nowhere to go, but at least another 10, 20% lower. And then, of course, the other one, everyone's favorite company, mRNA, Moderna. This is a daily. It's a crab bat. No, it's a bullish bat, but no, there was something else here. Oh, this is a 4-hour deep crab. And this is another one kind of just trying to capture this range bound. 191. Really 180 exploded through, but 191 on the top side. Looking for as low as 140 on that. Keep an eye on that. It's a couple of those biotech seem to be, and pharmaceuticals seem like they need to give it up for a while, which is nice. Really quick, let's go to the energy sector. We haven't talked about that. We're back retesting some big levels on daily, weekly for nat gas. Something that I'm looking at closely. I think it's an opportunity here. It's a type 2 potential check back. Big patterns on the daily and weekly. There's weekly. No, where'd you go? Daily. Oh, I know what it is. Here's the UNG. We're retesting in this type 2 in ideal fashion around 30.50. This is another one I posted, but I want to give the update here. 30.71 is the hop level. Also, crude oil is definitely needs some more time. Coming back retesting. Here you go. Let me bring up this one. Bring up the other chart. Bring up the other platform. Crude oil. Continuous chart. These definitely have stalled out off of that, the all-time 886 at 125, and we haven't seen a lot of progress back up. Here's the daily, weekly. Had a butterfly up at 121, which confirmed that prior high. You have, let me clean up this chart. There's too much going on here. The blue line again, that's just a pending pattern. Let's focus on the last pattern completed. That's always the best way to go. There you go. It's a shark, okay? Just reaction. Still in a downtrend. We haven't even registered yet. So as that gas is trying to retest, crude oil, despite what people say, trying to give us a reaction out of the zone around 95. As low as 88 was the 113. Anything under 84 bucks for a crude oil would be big trouble. Would say that this thing is just going to continue lower. That pattern has to hold, and it completed a while ago. I mean, it completed back here in July, and we've gone sideways. So not anything huge just yet. HSI is oversold. Here's the indicator. Trying to come out. So until that comes out, you're not really in business with energy just yet. Meanwhile, nat gas is trying to retest some pretty significant bearish signals. Probably needs more time for longs. Yep. Okay. Let's put in, let me go here. Let me show you guys this one. Here's ExxonMobil. Okay, another one set up. Oh, let me bring this up. There you go. Let me fix this. Show the bearish pattern developing. We're retesting. That's it's just a 5-minute. Here's ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil and Chevron have been the two big ones. On a weekly chart, ExxonMobil is stalling out at this ABCD right off the low. That's all it is. HSI around 98. But if you want to know what's going to happen to energy in general, keep an eye on not only this stock and this pattern, but the last 2-3 weeks range. Looks like this is going sideways, but to come down to target 1, all right, it seems like what we're doing here to 68.77. It's really vacillating in that larger zone, and haven't done much since registering that bearish HSI. I think energy needs more time in general. Not there quite yet. One more market I haven't covered in a while, which is gold, and that hasn't done much. So inflation markets have been quite tame the past 90 days or so. You do have a bullish back currently on the weekly, which is fairly significant, but it's just a type 1 reaction. You got slammed off of the butterfly, or the deep crab from February, and it was straight down, but this is now type 1 reaction at 1831. You're currently 1804. Then I would think maybe this fall you come back and retest. And I would look, long-term support for us for gold has been 1700 for the last couple of years. That doesn't change. And if you're looking for an opportunity in gold, it's probably back on this next retest under that 886. So there's no hurry really in gold. Could we go back and retest that pattern up there at above 2000? Yeah, but there's probably better opportunities in stuff like crypto and other things like that. I mean, it just has been, if you're looking for the inflation markets to fly, it's not happening. Not happening. If anything, they've tailed off. And you don't need these to drop. You just need them to not go up. They can go sideways and have the equity markets burn and do some kind of run here into September, which is, I'm thinking slightly higher levels or a higher continuation for equities into September. Set up your late September for your September rollover, late September, something like that. Excuse me, but crude oil hasn't done anything this summer, and I don't, and neither has gold. That won't change. Okay, let's give one more book away. Next person to type in V3 will win a book, and we will. I'll show everybody where to get the things you need to get set up for the book, the Discord, all of that kind of stuff. Go to Harmonic Trader. Okay, first person to put in V3. Poopsie, you win. Okay, what you need to do. Everyone needs to be a basic member. Okay. And register now. Then go to the basic members page and contact Miss Stephanie. Miss Stephanie on the Discord. She will get your address and we'll get you set up with a book. Go on the basic members page, click on the Discord link, and join the crew. 473 online, 1,870 members. That's great. Appreciate everybody being a part of that. And then get set up with the software too. So maybe next week I'll give away some extended trial or something to the software. I know some people have taken advantage of getting that extra 2-week trial. Please use that with discretion. If you really need it, that's cool. Send your username, and that's for the HPC TradingView. You can have a trial to any of the software programs you want, one per customer, and the TradingView is kind of the must. That's where I think everyone should start. Send your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. So again, look at what I talked about today with Ethereum, folks, and on Monday, we'll come back and we'll review what Ethereum's done, where we can target that, how we're going to get to 2,400. So absolutely, just, get your trading gear back on. It's been a rough 6 months or so, but, I think it's going to be constructive over the next 3-4 months into the end of the year. That's what we need to start thinking about as we get out of August. So until then, we'll be back on Monday at 12 noon. And if you want to try to win a book next Thursday, come on back on Thursdays. We give those away. So as always, go get them. Don't give up. Keep pushing. If you have any questions, reach out to me or Miss Stephanie on the Discord. Miss Stephanie will actually get back to you even faster than me. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care.